Joe.
What he really needs is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about that, Mrs. Levi. I'm from New York, so he's going to propose to Miss Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone. Or whatever I'll throw, I'll see. And well, what do you think of that? I haven't any money here to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I think I have some change here, Miss Levi. I just hope this isn't a wild goose chase.
And speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs. Surgical courses, rebone, ears pierced, pierced ears, reflux.
Mrs. Levi?
Just take the kind of man your sister wants it, she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maidens and she'll snatch him up. Call on Dolly.
Levi, may I ask, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. Van de Gelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, the way you taught me. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had one, but I will make him happy. And I want a sign from you sometime today telling me that you approve. And I'm tired, Ephraim, tired of living my life hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi.
Sometime today. Don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. You'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young baby gets the giggles, then I make my knuckles active. Mommy says she's so attractive, and I use my index digits, and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm, the preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
I did. Come down here, you two. I've got news for you both. This afternoon, I'm going to New York to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I return, you shall have a mistress.
I'm too young, Mr. Van de Gelder.
Not yours. Hell damnation, mine. I mean, I'm going to get married again. And in honor of that occasion, I decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Van de Gelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. And I've decided to promote you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get an evening free a week?
So that's the way you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to the story as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on that sheep dip. Evenings off. Marrying artists. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish. And I got married, which was foolish. And I was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And then my wife died, which was foolish of her. And I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Why, I know what you're wondering right now. Why a man of so much good sense would do anything as foolish as getting married again? Well, the answer's simple. This house without a woman is like an empty shell, and pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft nursing fingers. Oh, don't be the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a bride. The plumbing is leaking.
Congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergeller. All of New York is buzzing with the happy news that you practically proposed to Mrs. Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible maidens cross-strait with three. All my congratulations and sympathies.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that I mean, you know what people have said, although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergeller. I mean, it's a well-known fact that her first husband passed away quite naturally. It happened all so sudden. Few spoons of chowder that she made special for him, and poof! But it can happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. No truth in it at all. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergeller. Eat out.
Look here, Mrs. Levi. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy...
I mean to say nothing. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Beautiful. You should see it. Black. As I said before, Mr. Vandergeller, all my congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials. And may you may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Look, Mrs. Levi, you introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and I still intend on paying a call on her this afternoon, as arranged.
Very well. Guess there's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word, heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name? Money. Ernestina Money. Picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big and round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19. Weight 102. Weight 47.
Wait, 47.
That's with the money belt. Now, I can arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time. I've got to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets a certain Ambrose Pepper.
I can do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence. Guess who happens to be riding on the main slope? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money herself. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi. I'll meet Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend on paying another call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. What races you make me run. I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money either.
Well, then I happen to have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not get into that now. It'll come up later, all in good time. Wait till you see her, Tina, for it. A vision, a dream. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ambrose, Ermengarde, let's go upstairs. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
Well, you live on holidays, Cornelius.
Don't you remember what we did last Christmas? All those tomato cans went bad and exploded, and we spent the whole afternoon cleaning them up. You call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store down?
Mm-hmm.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses, how do you know?
I'm going to light a candle under them, that's how I know. They'll make such a smell, the customers won't be able to come to the place for 24 hours. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to have a good meal, and we're going to spend all our money, and we're going to be in danger, and we're almost going to get arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old, Barnaby. I've got to begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17, and it isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Bartlett's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale, what do you say?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
So the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know, get you a job. Can you dance?
The artist, Miss Levi, I paint.
Well then, my card.
This is Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance.
Now, there's Chloe, Brunhilde Reichenpfeffer at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant. Now I'll write you a note to take to her to see if we can't have you both entered into the polka contest tonight. If you win, it's a week's engagement in a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, hold on, Miss Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. Don't mind my saying that I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends, dear friends from days gone by. My husband, Mr. Levi, believed in life, and any place he could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were tough, every Saturday night, like clockwork, down those stairs with the Harmonia Gardens restaurant we came, Ephraim and me.
Well, it's all very well to come down like clockwork, Miss Levi, but you're asking her in regard to work.
Mr. Kemper. Now, it's the only way to show Mr. Van Gelder we mean business. Now you go down there now and tell him Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell him Dolly's coming back. And I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
Now hold the candle up to the most on top, Cornelius. No, not too close, or it'll swell up like they're ready to burst. I can smell it from up here.
Come on, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this big town, Barnaby. There's a slit town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out your brilliant time and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night, where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's, and we'll close the town in our whirl, and we won't come home until we kiss a girl.
nice veil. I told her ribbons down our back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants on today of all days. When that poor dear sweet Miss Malloy's had enough on her mind.
What, Minnie?
With the door, it's stuck.
It's stuck. Then push.
I don't think I can find out my tongue for the things I said and the things I'm going to say. As long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Miss Malloy, why?
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
I didn't ask you that. I'd rather die on the rocks than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up.
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Oh, Miss Malloy.
And I can no longer stand as being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for
Miss
it.
Malloy.
Don't protest me. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go to restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Let's face it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of here like a fire engine. Oh, no, not Miss Mortimer again.
Oh, Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
Miss Malloy, you can't. You're a widow in that hat. It's provocative, that's why.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today? And provocative may be just what I want to do.
Oh, Miss Malloy!
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. They're green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by, and so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July. And though a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me, that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
Malloy, while of course you could make me ask this next question I'm about to ask. I'm going to ask it anyhow. You love Horace Vandergelder.
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my fair share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough as long as it's true love, and that it was. Minnie, there's two men staring at the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men? In the shop? What do we do?
Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Oh, Miss Malloy, you and all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of an adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop new coal. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, you go into the workroom. I know this is a perk of our appearance. And besides, a bit of a wig will make them more anxious and save your friends.
You say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire! And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July. Though a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me, that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
you're out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long, we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city, and suddenly,
Vandergelder.
is he still out there? Go look.
He's sitting right on the bench, Cornelius. Are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it all right. How much money have we got left?
Well, not much. I have, let me see here. I have 40 cents for the train back and 30 cents for joining dinner. 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
When those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich. That way, we won't have to spend anything. We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius' hat.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, you see, we're really about talent for Master Malloy in London. We want a hat. For a lady, of course. And everyone said, go to Mrs. Malloy's, because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, too. As reasonable as under $1. We'll still leave us enough to see the whale.
You've got a mind of no mind now. You see, he's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just maybe watch the street, Barnaby, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Big and black with green little red eyes?
Yes.
He's sitting right on the bench.
Did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And pardon me for saying so, but you really should see Yonkers. And by that I mean, perhaps Mr. Malloy would enjoy seeing Yonkers as well.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed seeing Yonkers, especially in that hat. I'm you, of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a day free in the near future, I'd be more than charmed to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I may be there sooner than you think.
Really?
Well, you see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, well, it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Vandergelder? K&B? Do you know him?
No, of course not.
Mr. Vandergelder is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
A lovely man, Mrs. Malloy. Has only one fault as far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Julius, I think.
Now, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Look out! You're breaking apart, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us, Mrs. Malloy. We'll explain everything later.
No, really, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Barney, I demand you come out here this second. I'll be forced to Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is in here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she'll just have to go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the suspension. Did I just see you talking to two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? No, and two men you doing in a ladies' hat shop. No, really, Mr. Vandergelder, I'd like you to see my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. How's the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. I mean,
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend?
What friend?
A customer. Someone quite well to do. He was in here buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you know him. Oh, it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Apple?
Why, yes.
He just happens to be my head clerk. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
Well, I'm gonna give it to you. Why should you know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. Why, he's here in all the operas, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's even at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my very own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal canal.
What canal?
The Panama. The Panama. Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her right through the street? Cornelia Tackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster right down Mrs. Astor's? Oh, I can't say, but it was Cornelia Tackle. He's the Playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny. I could see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Not really, Dolly. I just met him today, and I don't even have names to be.
Of course.
Minnie, hold your tongue. There's a man in that closet.
Now, see here, there's a man in that closet.
No, Mr. Vandigether, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man who hides in ladies' closets can frighten me. Stand aside.
No man, indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. With those muscles, I can see them now. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed. That's exactly what the courts will want to know when you've been charged with entering a closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Fancy Ross's flag is passing too. You see him on the hill at Gettysburg. Means that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's trampling through the graves of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
I was not affected, you, sir. I came here at 14 years of age, an immigrant girl from the land of oppressed white people. And I must stand here and echo what was said by that great and patriotic American.
Mrs. Malloy.
All right, Mr. Mariella, there is a man in that closet.
Aha!
And another under that table.
What the devil?
And there also happens to be a very simple explanation for this. But for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandigether.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good afternoon, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything.
I do not wish to hear any explanations. I just want you and Mr. Tucker to do me the pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I'll be forced to call for Officer Gilbert.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, calling an officer's letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. Now, I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishi. But, to prove to them that we tried to settle it amicably first, have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way it's done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnish afterwards.
Well, then if it must be, Mr. Tucker, Mr. Hackle, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
It would be a pleasure, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby as well. Now, I hear there's a very nice little restaurant at the railway station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. Now, Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends. It's good enough for us.
Oh, we couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. It's not the money or anything. It's the whale. It's the whale. No, Barnaby, it's not the whale. It's the dancing. They have dancing in places like that. Exhibitions, even contests. And I don't know how. And it would take me weeks, months, even years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerk's taught how to dance.
Now it's simple. Put one arm here and one here.
Oh, it's no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm. It's the primary requirement to learn by the Gallagher-Levi method. Now give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the street. Now it's easy. Right foot touch, left foot touch, over, around, back, under, touch. Very good. Now, when I think of the lucky woman who will find heaven in your arms, let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hands on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing! Well, I was.
My daughter Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
A year ago last September. It's been a long time since you've lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough. For all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy, and I've said a prayer every night before I went to bed, thanking God that I was independent, and that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. And then, one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible, the same one you gave to me when you asked me to marry you. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without life, and without color. I realized I was like that oak leaf. For all these years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with wonderful hope that something or other would turn out right. So, I decided to rejoin the human race, Ephraim, and I want you to give me away.
Oh, Dolly, are you taking us to see the 13th Street Parade? Everybody will be marching.
I agree. Why?
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Go with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Parade passes by. I'm gonna go and take Saturday time life before the parade passes by. I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out front. I've had enough of just passing my life with the rest of them, with better than them. I can hold my head up high, for I've got a goal again. I've got to drive again. I want to feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Hear that front already rolling. Look at that crowd up ahead. Wonder if my own spirit is showing all the lights over there. Maybe telling me where we're going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Passes by. When you hear the bells underneath the wing, the parade passes by. When you hear my old spirit showing all those lights over there, seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistle blows and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton. For the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, she's beautiful. Everything you said and more. Wait right here, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'll be right there. Hey, you! Cut that out! Put that back! I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what's the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Horace. Miss Money had a sudden urgent tonight at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And well, it should be. What food? And the fastest waiters in New York. Oh, I'll be running a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front. She'll be dressed in buttercup yellow and wearing baby pink shoes and humming an old sweet tune of Yes, Sweet Rosie O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
All right, Mrs. Leavitt. I'll be there, but only because I already paid for the engagement, and it might as well get my money's worth. But from now on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you're just a woman like anyone else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton before the parade. Have some
Mrs. Malloy,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
as we enter the restaurant,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
may I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle, but I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
Way we can show your uncle we mean business. Can you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off the stage.
Sweet Rosie O'Grady, my sweet little rose.
is my duty as head waiter and your supreme commander that tonight and all night our usual lightning service.
We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my garden.
It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided? Oh, I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones. What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, you're eating pheasant.
Pheasant?
Say, why the clothes shirt? You ashamed or something?
It's not that, I just feel a slight chill.
Would you bring me a roast suckling pig with chestnuts and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and, some lady fingers? Now, what do you have?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait, no wine.
No wine?
Champagne!
Champagne?
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream. And Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance.
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We are Presbyterians.
I'll ask myself. Give $2 to the band leader, will ya? And tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelia, we'll send for the band, but promise me you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play a waltz. Look, you. Give this to the band leader and tell him to play a nice waltz.
Here's a nickel for the band leader. You tell him to play.
Miss Money!
And some more pheasants, please.
Cornelius!
My purse!
My wallet!
Hey, you. I think that's my purse.
Excuse me, that's my wallet. I know it's my wallet because there's nothing in there but $1, $3. Holy cabooses, Cornelius! Cornelius! You say 2 presents, 3, 4 presents for the house. Never mind if I never see the will. I found on my own.
Ma'am!
But this shouting really got I told you not to shout, boy. This is the Harmonia Garden restaurant, not one of those.
Ma'am, she's here, the lady.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, 8 o'clock in the nose, out pulls the carriage, and out steps a lady with red hair and the biggest handbag you ever saw.
You did! It's Mrs. Levi, she's back!
Brunhilde! Is it true? I have to be laughing outside the kitchen window. It sounded like.
It is! It's Dolly! Fritz! Just back! She just left out for college!
Is it true?
It's true, yes! She just left out of her bike and both cabins with 6 slaps of the fabulous.
Brunhilde! Brunhilde!
Oh, she's here.
She's here.
Sir, what on earth are you doing in that getup? And you're half an hour late. And I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina?
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Let's go sit down, Horace. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. Now, I'm as shocked as you are. Let's not say another word about it. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted, a chicken. Now, about that hoochie-coochie girl.
Oh, did you say a chicken? I don't think I can handle a chicken. Not today. Not after what's happened.
Good. Cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking around, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always sticking your nose into other people's affairs. Why, if anyone was ever to marry you, they would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said if anyone was ever to marry you...
Horace Van de Gelder, get that idea out of your head this minute. What? The idea of you even suggesting such a thing. Understand, once and for all, I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts unshelled. The idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Van de Gelder, you go your way and I'll go mine. If I ever had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. But let's not say another word about it. Here's Broomhilda with our food. I'll serve Mr. Van de Gelder, Broomhilda. Here's some turkey for you. And some dumplings, lighter than air they are. And some giblets, very good and very tender. Now, as I said before, Horace, you go your way and I'll go mine. Start right in on the wine. It'll make you feel better at once. Since you brought the matter up, I think there's one more thing I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say. Yes, it's true. I'm a woman who likes to be in control of everything. And I like to know everything that's going on. But I don't think I can handle anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself. God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well, Mr. Van de Gelder. Have some beets. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's nice. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for a person like me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
Very well, and I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age? My age? You're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers, bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's nice. No, the pity of it is, you could be a charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
Sit down, Horace. You are charming. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now let's talk about something else. But there's one more thing I should say.
It was to ask you to marry me, Dolly. Never.
Well, I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace, but I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
No use arguing. I made up your mind. Let me finish.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
You can't go now. The dance competition's about to start.
Here's the money to pay for the dinner. Here's 20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 5 dimes, 3 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Impossible. I can't imagine without your purse.
Barnaby, that wallet you found.
Vandergillen, we gotta get out of here.
What am I going to do? I've never eaten here before. They don't know me. Don't eat anything. I can't pay for it.
Look, Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka. And there's one dancer in particular I want you to
That man, that dancer.
see. With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
Come along, Mrs. Malloy. It's been a perfectly delightful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a bit, excuse me, short.
What's Minnie? A polka. Oh, Cornelius, I simply must have one dance.
Yeah, Vandergillen's right over there.
We'll go, but we'll dance our way out.
Cornelius Apple.
Mr. Vandergelder!
Barnaby Tucker. Ermengarde. Dolly, this is yours, isn't it? What are you up to?
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
I don't want to hear an explanation. You're fired.
Officer, arrest that man.
Hey, what are you doing? Get your hands off me.
All of them, all of you.
Now, y'all charged with disturbing the peace, assault and battery, inciting riot, and several other equally serious violations of the law of this city. Now, I say, is there anyone here to speak in your behalf? Is there anyone here to speak in your behalf? This is Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rest. No, ladies and gentlemen, there's no need to call witnesses when I see upon that bench a brow that glistens with honor. And a nose. I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Can you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E proboscis unum. So, Your Honor, I ask for freedom of my client, and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit here, Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers.
Dolly.
The only one here responsible for these grievous charges of destruction of private property.
And Huttonton, and Vital Ruth, and Sonnet Gold Cup.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Levi. But if it please the court, I have something to say.
I was just coming to you, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
Well, I'll do it again.
You've done that, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. Now, I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting the riot, but I do know what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man. Would never have happened if I'd stayed in Yonkers and obeyed your orders. Your Honor, I'm talking about none other than love.
What? Do you mean to tell me that after 33 years, you've fallen in love because you took one evening off?
No, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Miss Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening. Even an hour's too long. What's less than a minute?
Second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around in New York, and I didn't even know them at all. I don't know if you can all see from where you're sitting, the way, for example, her cheek and eye and forehead all come together up here. I tell you right now, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids. They're not in it at all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today I talked to one, equal to equal, and they're so different from men. And they're awfully mysterious, too. I bet you could know a woman for 100 years without being really sure whether she liked you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important of me. But I don't care. Even if I had to be a ditch digger for the rest of my life. I'd be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle. I missed a few words back there. Right after it only.
If it's to ask you to marry me, Dolly, never, not in a million years, under no condition will I ever marry you.
That wasn't it at all. What I really wanted to say was, goodbye, goodbye.
What?
I'm sorry, Horace. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say but, goodbye, goodbye. Don't try and stop me, Horace, please.
register. And now can all be all dolled up and singing that song that says you dog, I told you so. So Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your dog shuffle up to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly, if you were the last woman on earth. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly.
Yes, Sam, Mr. Vandergelder?
Oh, so it's you, is it, Mr. Hackle? Come crawling back, have you?
No, Mr. Vandergelder. I just came by for my $146.35. You see, I've decided to go into business for myself. And since the only business I know is hay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder, right across the street from you.
So, you think you can compete with the Vandergelders, do you? Well, you just try. Oh, another one comes crawling back. What do you want?
My salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do this to me. I'll go to the courts. I'll get lawyers. Why, you know.
Well, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, so few men nowadays can look so good.
Dolly Gallagher.
Now, Horace, don't let me interrupt what you were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius' money, Dolly, $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 mine.
And the money my mama left me.
$52.48.
38.
48.
All right, if it's money you want, the safe is over here.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. Like the sun we walk under, it can kill or it can cure. Mr. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that everyone in the world is a fool. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Yes, we're all fools. Himself, Cornelius, Irene, myself, and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the only way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in this world. And that takes a little money. The only difference between a small amount of money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between an enormous amount of money and a small amount of money can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless you spread it around, helping the young things grow. Well, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. By the way, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign. Now, Mr. Vandergelder, I have the ideal wife for you.
Dolly, I don't want you to find me no ideal wife. If I wanted an ideal wife, I'd find one of my own. And I've found her. And it's you, damn it.
Horace.
I know I've been a fool about this boy and that other woman, but Dolly, forgive me. And marry me.
Now, Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
You're a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, Horace, it won't be enough to load your wife with jewels and money and make her a benefactress to half the town.
By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open shop right across the street from you. Better take him back and make him your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now see here, Dolly.
That way we can all be together to dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That does it. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how. And it would take me weeks, months, even years to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Horace Van together. I never thought I'd hear you say such a thing.
That front room, idiot. Well, go on. What are you waiting for?
Horace, what is going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have the front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace.
I know the old wallpaper ain't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up shop and needs a good start. You see, Dolly, I like to think of money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Well,